Okay, this is a much requested video. A lot of people are asking me about my nail art, the different types of nail wraps that I use in a lot of my crafting videos, and I don't use nail wraps. I can't stand nail wraps. I don't care what brand they are. Please don't try to sell them to me. I don't like them. They cost way too much money for me, and I like to be able to do my own nails and change them whenever I feel like it without spending a ton of money. So what I do with my nails, it's called nail stamping. And nail stamping has been around for a long time now. This is nothing new, and I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just showing you how I do mine, because that's why you're here. You want to see how I do it. There's lots of other tutorials out there. You know, a lot of different opinions on what should be used, what should not be used. Like I said, this is my opinion. Now, the first thing that you're going to need, of course, for nail stamping is this, a nail stamping plate. I use the ones from Queen. I guess that's how you say it. It looks like the word queen, but it has a P. Queen, I guess. And see, they got like a little crown for their logo. So I use Queen and Born Pretty. Now, Born Pretty does take a while to ship, but they have really, really awesome products. And what these plates are, as you can see, whenever you get them and you take them out, they're going to be covered, no matter what brand you get. Almost all of them are covered in a blue film. You must remove this blue film. It's just plastic. You have to peel that off in order to get to the designs on the little metal card inside. So many people say, I can't get the design to pick up on my stamper. What am I doing wrong? Well, you're not taking the plastic off. That's what you're doing wrong. But as you can see on these metal plates, they're all of these little designs, and they're kind of like laser etched or something, you know, like engraved into the piece of metal. And these little engravings hold nail polish, and that is what gives you the design. So I have a bunch of them from Queen. I have a bunch of them from Born Pretty. I mean, I've got tons more. I think I have some from Bundle Monster around here and a few different brands, but these are my favorite brands. In the comments, I will pin a comment linking to all of the products that I'm using, so you know you don't just rush out there and just buy something and it might not give you the result that I'm getting here. But these are a lot of my favorite designs here, and just for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using Nail Party 01 plate from Queen. The next thing you're going to need is a stamper. Now there's a bunch of different kinds of stampers. There are really, really firm ones. There are really, really squishy ones. There are small ones and large ones. I have this large one. I can't even remember. I'm going to have to look back through Amazon to see which store I got this from. Well, this it says right there, duh, Queen. And I think this one came from Born Pretty. This one is from Queen. And this one is very, very squishy. It's one of my absolute favorites. It picks up polish really, really well. But you see how it's kind of small and you can't see through it. So it's kind of hard, you know, to pick up the design and then place it on your nail because you can't really see where it's going. Or if you have, you know, the design crooked, if it's sideways, you know, whatever. Now with these are called clear jelly stampers. You see, they're not as squishy as that one. It's a little bit more firm, but they are clear and you can see through them and you can see where you're placing the design on your nail. Same thing with this one. It's just a little bit squishier than this one. You can still see through it. It's double-ended. It has a small stamper on one end and a large stamper on the other end. I like all of these. The extra firm ones, I just really don't seem to have very much luck with those. And I do have a big silicone mat, which I use for like reverse stamping. I'll get into all that later. That's another tool that you do not need right now, but you might want to look at later. I'll put a link to that in the comments as well. Aside from the stamper and the plate, of course, you're going to need polish. And there's a lot of good stamping polishes out there, but my favorite, and so that I don't have to like order it or pay a ton for it, is the Sally Hansen Insta-Dry, and you can get this at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, wherever. The only thing a stamping polish is it's very, very opaque. You know, because some of the polishes you have to put 2 or 3 coats on your nails before you know, get a good color payoff. Well, with the Insta-Dry, you know, like it's a 1-coat type deal. So if you have any like 1-coat nail polishes that you really like, it would probably be a good stamping polish. You just have to play with it and see how it works for you. This is, you know, this liquid latex. You don't have to use this. I just use this. It helps to clean up around your cuticles a little bit easier. You just paint this liquid latex on around your nail, because then when you stamp it, you're going to get polish all over your finger, and it just helps with cleanup a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this just on a few of my fingers. And I'm going to go into some other things here just in a second, because this does take a few seconds to dry. And I know my nails are looking rough right now. That's because I just got done painting them. And what I do is I paint them, and then I do the stamping deal. And then when it's all said and done and all dried and I peel the latex off, then I go back with some acetone and a small brush. And that's when I do all the cleanup. I clean up around them then. So, and that's another thing that you're going to need, of course, is some acetone. I don't recommend just plain nail polish remover, because that has oils sometimes, you know, the moisturizing ingredients, and it just doesn't do as good of a job as the plain old acetone. And the kind that I get is at Walmart. It's in this bottle right here. And what you do is you have to pump this up and down to get the remover to come out through these holes here. And if you knock it over, it's not going to spill everywhere. And you can twist it to lock it so that it doesn't spill. Another thing that I use, I'm trying to get this to dry, is you can use a lint roller or you can use a piece of tape. I'm going to use a piece of tape. I always use a piece of tape. And what I use this for is I just make a loop like this with the sticky side out. And I place that down onto a piece of paper. Because when you're stamping your nails, you're going to want to clean your stamper. And you never ever want to clean your stamper with acetone, nail polish remover, or anything else, because it will etch into this and it will really, really mess it up. So that you just stamp it down onto the piece of tape, and that's going to clean it. Just waiting for this to dry. So what you do is you take your plate, and let's say we're going to use this design right here. So probably a little hard for y'all to see because of the lighting. You take your polish and you paint it about 1/3 of the way down. And then you want to take a piece of plastic card. You can use a gift card. Like I've been using this right here. It's just a gift card from the DSW warehouse. Or this is a nail scraper card that came from Born Pretty. And I think they always give you like a free scraper card when you buy something from them. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. But once you paint your nail polish about 1/3 of the way down the design, you take your card and you scrape it, and that's going to force the polish into all of these little grooves. So you put the polish on, scrape it, wipe your scraper off, take your stamper, stamp it right down onto that design, and it's going to pick up the nail polish onto your stamper. So I'm going to have, let's see, I think I'm going to try to use this big one. Of course, watch it not pick up well. Sometimes I have a hard time with this using the white with the Sally Hansen. I don't know, it doesn't do it with any other color, it just does it with the white. So we're going to see how it works out. And you need to do this quickly, okay? Because these polishes, they do dry fast. So you need to move, you know, fairly quickly. So I'm just going to paint it on like this. Scrape it, wipe it off. Pick it up with my stamper. And you see, there's the design on the stamper. Now, you don't have to be so quick with this part. Then you just find which nail you want to put it on. And some people stamp straight down, or you can start at one side of your nail and just roll it this way. So I'm gonna roll one, and then I'm not gonna roll one. I'll just roll across my nail. And then the next one I'll stamp it straight down so that you can kind of see the difference. But for this, I'm just going to start on one side and just roll across. Tap it down like that, and there's the design. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And there's the design on that nail. And you see how, as I stamped, it kind of went over my nail and kind of got on my skin, but I have that liquid latex there. So when I pull that latex off, it's not gonna be as big of a mess to clean up. And now you see I have some polish left on my stamper. I'm just gonna touch it to that tape that I have on my piece of paper. Like I said, I normally have a big silicone mat that I use for this. I'm sorry about that. I got my phone over here plugged in, but for some reason, I don't know, my battery died. But anyway, you don't have to clean your plate after every use. I do, just because I found that gives me the best result. And I just hold the pad like right here on my fingers, pump it up and down on here a couple times, wipe this off, take a dry one, wipe it again to dry it, and I'm ready to do the next nail. Okay, now I'm going to do the next nail. I'm going to stamp straight down. And that's not my preferred method. I like to roll it across my nail. But I'm just going to show you the difference. See, there's the design. Now let's go to my middle nail here. What are all these little particles from my previous crafting I was doing earlier? And you can just press it straight down. See? And then that gives you the design. This is probably like one of my favorite color combinations, is the blue and white. And this blue is from LA Colors, in case you were wondering, and it shines under black light. But yep, that's how I do mine. Just clean it and then dry it one more time. I put a lot more polish on mine than a lot of people do. And that right there is just the very basics of nail stamping. Now once all of this is dry and you have gotten, you know, the latex taken away, take your top coat, any top coat that you want to use. I like a big fat, I think, what is it called? Big fat top coat, I think. And you want to put a fairly, you know, a fairly thick top coat over your stamping here. Do not drag the brushes across where you just stamped, because that will cause it to smudge. You just want to lightly paint it on, you know, so that you don't drag your design everywhere. But yep, that's what they look like after you have them stamped. Let me move this out of the way and I'll show you. See, once you peel off the, you can use tweezers for this. I usually use tweezers. So you peel off the latex. It's not as big of a cleanup as if you don't have the latex. And then I'll just go back with a little small fine brush, some acetone, and I'll just clean up around my nails to get the rest of that, polish off. And then I do my hot oil treatment. I like to take like a small little bowl of just pure olive oil. I heat it up in the microwave till it's fairly warm, and then soak my hands in it for a little bit. Because once you use that acetone, you know, it really does dry out your nails a bit. But that's how I do my nails. So I know this was a little long-winded, but I really just wanted to explain, you know, try to explain in depth how I do mine, because I've had so many requests asking me to do it. Like I said, I'm no expert. I just like to do my nails at home. But if you would, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and please check me out on other forms of social media. I'll put the links to all of those in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye-bye.